So are you saying you think that poll is wrong?
I do. I actually do. And Laura, I can tell you, I've been travelling around Victoria, particularly over recent weeks. The reception I'm getting, not only towards me and my colleagues, but also the growing frustration with the Andrews government, just doesn't seem to be borne out in that poll. And for me, Warrandyte was a better reflection and an actual reflection of the way people are feeling. And if they didn't like the Liberal product, they wouldn't have flocked to it with a 10% increase on primary. I'm not talking.
Hang on, but didn't
2PP
Labor not run a
here, Laura,
candidate?
but on primary. Yeah, because they were scared of running and they knew the shellacking they were going to get. But Laura, this is why I'm not trying to focus on the 2PP result. What I'm saying is the primary vote for the Liberals went up by 10%. So people had a lot of options in that by-election, Laura, to vote for somebody else. They didn't vote for somebody else. They came to us in larger numbers. So that gives us a lot of confidence. Look, polls come and go, and I do see them like everyone, and you've looked at it too. But, I've had a political career, Laura, where, some days you get up and you just got to keep fighting. So for us, off the back of Warrandyte, we know that if we just keep doing the work, we will win in 2026. And that's what my colleagues and myself are certainly doing every day of the week.
So you think you're on track to win in 2026? What gives you that confidence?
Well, an actual result. And the feedback I'm getting. And look, I've been around politics a long time, Laura. I've worked front of camera, behind camera, all of the jobs that you do in politics. And I can just feel that the Victorian community has changed. And I reckon, Laura, if I had to put my finger on it, was probably the Com Games. But things were changing with the budget because the level of tax increases, whether it's jobs, rent, schools tax, work cover tax, now holiday tax, we've got a GP payroll tax that's going to, annihilate bulk billing according to the AMA in Victoria. All of these taxes started that move, but the tide really turned after the Com Games. And you make a valid point. The government didn't run in Warrandyte. But I think the counterpoint to that, Laura, is there's a reason they didn't run. And they knew what they would get if they did run. And we may have a by-election in Ringwood. We'll see what happens with the member for Ringwood in the Victorian Parliament, Laura, but I'm keen to contest that. And that'll be the first opportunity that Daniel Andrews has had since he balked at the first two, Narracan and Warrandyte, to go head-to-head in a by-election. And we'll contest that if it comes up with a great deal of vigour, I can promise you.
I'm sure you will. So are you banking on perhaps Daniel Andrews not being your direct opponent in 2026?
I look, like everybody else, there are different possibilities. Frankly, I don't think it matters anymore, Laura. Nothing's going to change. The government's problems, which it's now asking Victorians to pay for, are still going to exist. So if Daniel Andrews were to go and Jacinta Allen were to become Premier, well, she's been a co-author of these debacles. She was at the centre of the Commonwealth Games debacle. But more importantly, perhaps, Laura, Jacinta Allen has been at the hand of these major infrastructure blowouts and delays. So we're not going to see anything change, unfortunately, and we'll work as hard as we can to try and limit the damage of this government by working with other parties in the Victorian Parliament, but we'll have to work our way towards 2026, frankly.
All right, I like your confidence. John Pesutto, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Pleasure, Laura. Thanks.